YouTubers, welcome to Bikini Nation. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Please remember to hit like, also hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. It will really help me out. Also, don't forget to drop a comment down below. I really love all of your comments coming in. Today we're going to kick off with our first story, which is the Legion Sports Fest, which is happening this weekend. The bikini show will be on the 24th in Nevada, which I'm super pumped for. Before we jump into who's competing, I just wanted to highlight this poster to you guys because I thought it was quite cool and a little bit different to the usual poster that you would see. Kind of looks like superhero, anti-hero, whatever you want to call it, but I think it's quite cool, quirky. They've thought outside of the box and I like it. I'm actually quite keen for this weekend. We've got a couple of interesting shows that are happening. We've got the Hurricane Pro and we've also got this one, the Legion Sports Fest. So I'm going to quickly skim over the competitors list for you guys. Here I go. Noelle Agnew, Amber Callahan, Jennifer Carrasco, Dolce Crystal, Ivana Escandar, Alicia Facchin, Katie Garcia, Rudy Guerrero, Phoebe Hagen, Jackie Hansen, Victoria Harbus, Hope Harper, Lauren Kralovich, Melissa Lindstrom, Jacqueline Lucia, Chelsea Miller, Matthias Miller, Adrienne Onofre, Nucia Fretius, Sydney Taylor, Priscilla Vargas, and Katie Zavlov. I'm super excited for this show. Similar to the Hurricane Pro, there's a lot of names on this list that I actually don't know, and that's why I like it. I'm going to learn about new competitors, see how they go, but today I'm going to hone in on a few competitors that I do know, and we're going to speak about them in further detail. So that's going to be Phoebe, Alyssia, and Ivana. Let's kick things off with Phoebe Hagen. What a wonderful year she has had. You probably already know that she won the Arnold UK very recently, which is very exciting for multiple reasons because she won a pro show and now she's qualified for her first ever Olympia, which will be next year, which is beyond exciting. And she also did this in her home country. So all in all, what a great achievement for Phoebe. As I just mentioned, Phoebe is already qualified for Olympia next year, and for most competitors, that is the goal, that is the end goal, to be qualified and to compete at Olympia. But for Phoebe, that's not quite enough. She has wrote in one of her Instagram posts that she intends to continue to compete up until that time. So she will receive the ongoing feedback from the judges and to bring her best ever look to Olympia next year. I think it's worth mentioning that Phoebe has come a long way this year. She has made some excellent improvements and developments to her physique. Looking at the UK Arnold, she really nailed her conditioning at that show. And I think she will bring that into this show as well, which is a huge asset. Phoebe also is a stellar poser, and we do know that is a huge component of bikini, knowing how to showcase your body on stage. Guys, let me know what you think. How do you think Phoebe's going to go at this show? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Next up, we have Alyssia from Italy. Alyssia is a great competitor and she recently competed at Olympia this year, which is a massive achievement. She placed 14th, which is fantastic when we consider that there's almost 40 competitors that step on the stage. Alyssia was actually supposed to compete at the Arnold UK. That was the show that Phoebe took out. And because of that, it's kind of challenging to see who will come out on top in this one. Because the Arnold UK would have been a really good matchup to see them battle it out, to see whose physique stands out, whose posing is superior. But I guess we're going to see it at this show and I'm really excited. Both Phoebe and Alyssia are taller competitors, so I can actually see some similarities there. Also, Alyssia's muscles are well developed. That's a big standout for me as well. Alyssia has also been quite active this year in competing, whereas Phoebe has been quite limited with travelling and has not competed as much. So, as I said, it's going to be a really interesting matchup and I honestly cannot wait. If you look at momentum going into this show, 14th at Olympia versus 1st at Arnold UK. And weighing that up, I'm not quite sure which one trumps the other. Guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts at home. How do you think this one's going to pan out? How will Alyssia go at this show? Write down in the comments below. The next competitor who we're going to focus on today is Ivana, or Evie, from Spain. Now, we're huge fans of Evie because she's really friendly and nice on social media, and that's a huge thumbs up from me. Evie also recently competed at Olympia, which is a huge accomplishment, probably the second biggest accomplishment you can have in this sport after winning Olympia itself. Evie came in 16th place. After 15th, they stopped ranking them and they kind of bundle all the competitors together and put them as 16th. So it's not a true representation of where she actually came. And in our opinion, we do believe she probably should have come in a better position, but that's just our opinion. Taking a look at Evie's physique, she is a smaller and more petite competitor if you compare her in particular to Phoebe and Alessia. But with that being said, she still has a lot of muscle mass. You can see that right there, and she is really well balanced. I can't really point out too many flaws with her physique. It's pretty awesome to look at, and when you do see her on stage, she's a confident competitor. She struts her stuff and she makes people look, and that's also what I love about Evie. Let's switch gears for a moment and take a look at Allison Testu. You probably already know that we're big fans of Allison and her physique, so that's why we're going to deep dive into her a little bit more today. She also competed at Olympia this year, which was her first ever Olympia, which is awesome. And better yet, she came 12th, which is pretty impressive. And that now gives her the position of being the highest ranked European competitor at the moment. Allison is naturally quite lean and she tends to come into shows looking shredded, and I'm a fan of it. But the judges provided advice going into Olympia to come in softer, bring that softer look, and she did so. Now, following the Olympia, she was provided quite different feedback from the judges, which is a little bit frustrating to be honest. Now I'm just going to read out a post that she put up 2 days ago that provides a little bit more context and explanation. I'm going to just read out some sections and paraphrase it a little bit because Allison is French and English is her second language, so here I go. Her written feedback from Sandy Williamson from the Olympia. The short-term modifications is to bring in a tighter look. And the long-term modifications is for more volume in the glutes and upper body, knowing that the process that they've made before the Olympia to bring in a flat and soft version of her, without the carb up, without the pre-stage warm-up, except for the glutes, with the ice cream process to hide her insertions, and going on stage fasted, just some blueberries here and there, but to keep the waist tiny. The deductions that they've made is that they don't need the ice cream for next time, except if the conditioning is too hardcore. And just to elaborate on that a little bit further, leading into the Olympia, Allison was having ice cream almost daily, so she could bring in that softer look. Her metabolism is that crazy. And she checked with some European judges if she should follow that feedback, and the answer was clear. Yes, tighter look and fuller. Tick, tick, tick. And when I think about this further, it irritates me. It actually really irritates me a lot because she was told to come into the Olympia with a softer physique. Same as Issa actually. And they stepped on stage and they weren't rewarded for that. And coming out of Olympia, their feedback was to bring a tighter, more conditioned and fuller look. And this is what they were originally going to bring into the Olympia before the judges intervened. And this is the look that they both usually present in other shows. And that's why it's really frustrating, the inconsistency in the feedback. It really grinds my gears. I just hope that the feedback that they provide, especially for the biggest show of the year, becomes more consistent because it can be quite detrimental to the athlete's progress, and honestly, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Guys, what do you think at home? Does this also frustrate you, or am I just losing the plot? That concludes my video for today. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to hit like and also subscribe. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Over and out from Bikini Nation.